So let's talk about this. Wu-Tang says, how do you feel about regulation? I think everybody knows what I feel like regulation. I think it's stupid. And as of this video, for the past year, no, probably a year and a half, there hasn't been one law pretty much passed in wholesaling real estate to regulate it at all.
What happened to all the fear mongering?
There's a lot of fear mongering.
Shut it down, and if you don't pair up with me and my brokerage, like it's never going to work.
I agree. All right, so
it's insane.
But the point I'm making here is there is a new law in Maryland that came out, which they're trying to stop a lot of wholesaling. What I could tell you is it's not banning wholesaling. I just want everyone to understand that. Everyone's like, wholesaling's being banned. It's not. They're trying to regulate it to a point where I think they're trying to stop you from doing 2 deals, but it's written so vaguely that you can get around it very easily. And after talking to some lawyers in Maryland, you can easily get around that law. I won't say it because I don't want to be legally liable, but the way the law is written, there is extreme loopholes on each one. Every single law that they've done to regulate wholesaling, they have to skirt around the most important law of all, which is the Constitution Clause in the United States of America. In the United States of America, we have what we call the Constitution Clause, which prohibits states it stops states from stopping the right of United States citizens in the federal government from creating contracts and forming contracts. So you cannot ban a human being in the United States of America that is a U.S. citizen from forming contract. It's called the Constitution Clause in the United States. Look it up. So any type of law that they pass has to still allow people to form contract. Now, you can regulate it. And so the way a lot of people are trying to do it, it's like, hey, I can't go out here and go in behind my car and go drive without a license. I need a license for that, right? Now, things get sticky because there weren't cars back then. So our founding fathers didn't really know how to make laws around that, but they made laws because they knew about how important contracts were. And so none of these wholesaling laws have ever been challenged. This is why, in our opinion, and talking to a lot of legal scholars, most of these laws, the Illinois law and maybe this Maryland law, it does regulate you forming contracts. And really, it is a huge issue with the Constitution Clause in the United States. This is why, and I want everybody to know this, in Illinois, they know they are breaking the Constitution Clause in the United States. That being said, do you know why they know that? They haven't enforced that Illinois wholesaling law once. There are active wholesalers right now that are just wholesaling, and title companies that don't even care anymore. They're just letting you wholesale. But I thought it was illegal. I thought there's penalties. They're not enforcing it because they know it's illegal. And I would love for them to go after me because then I can just countersue, go to the Supreme Court, win it out. But these laws aren't being enforced because they're not real. Like, for example, there's laws in like England where if you don't wear a powdered wig before 4 p.m. or whatever, you get like whipped or something stupid. They're old and antiquated laws, but like they're not enforced anymore. And it's the honest truth. So regulation, it really hasn't happened at all in a year and a half. And honestly, Maryland's trying something. It could pass, it could not pass. But the honest truth is there's no teeth in those bills and there's just zero enforcement on them. And the truth is it doesn't really matter. And there's loopholes around it even to get through it. And it's pretty easy. And so,
but guys, just make sure if you're in any of these states with questionable, I guess you call them laws or statutes, just talk to a real estate attorney because I don't want you to.
They're free at a title company.
Yeah. And we don't want you to get sued. Like, trust me, that's the last thing.
You're not going to get sued.
I know. I just want you to be comfortable in what you're doing. So just make sure you understand your state and local laws and understand sometimes you have to navigate through like technicalities. And some of them are so ridiculous, but
like one in Arizona.
It's ridiculous.
Everyone's like, I thought wholesaling was banned in Arizona. I'm like, what? So wholesaling has a law where if you're not licensed, you have to disclose if you're wholesaling with the seller. So this is what most people do. Okay, well, I'm just going to tell all my sellers I'm wholesaling. Like, that's what they do. Here's the thing. If you read the law, you can't stop somebody from forming contracts. And so disclosures are interesting because that's a weird part. And so because you have to disclose if you're wholesaling, it's not you have to disclose if you end up wholesaling it because that's impossible. You can't do that. It's impossible. You have to disclose if you're going to go to eat Chinese food. But what if I go and end up eating a burger instead? It's like, you can't do that, right? You have to eat the Chinese food. Yeah. It makes no sense, right? And so the point of wholesaling is you don't go into a wholesaling contract. Like, you don't sign a contract with the sole intention for wholesaling. And I tell everybody that you don't. You sign a purchase and sale agreement, not I want to go wholesale your property contract. Okay. It's not that. It's you go in there with the intention of purchasing the property. That's what you do. Now, what you end up doing with it, do whatever you want, right? And so the truth is, so if I never intend, right, to go out on a boat and not catch any fish. But the funny part about like when we go fishing, right, if we have to sign a disclosure intending not to catch any fish, that's kind of weird to say because I'm intending to catch fish.
Oh, don't get me started on
no, but like
fishing laws, rules, or regulation. It's insane.
Yeah, it's not about that, but it's like, am I going to sign something saying I'm intending not to catch any fish fishing? That's really stupid. No, I want to catch the fish, right? But guess what happens? Maybe I go out here and I don't catch anything. Oh no, well, I guess we didn't catch anything. I didn't have to sign it. You know why? Because I didn't intend not to catch any fish, but I ended up not catching any fish, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Arizona. So if I'm intending to double close on all my properties and I somehow end up just wholesaling it, I didn't intend on doing it in the first place, right? And so there's loopholes to pretty much every single law that they make in wholesaling real estate because we have what we call the Constitution Clause of the United States. God bless America. That's why I love this country so much. We ain't gonna let you stop. So I just thought it was funny, but no, the problem is everyone talks about regulation because they're trying to sell you something on it. I'm telling you, it drives me crazy. But we can be a bull shark. That's cool too. Call people bull sharks.
That's almost worse than the bull on land.
Oh, they're scary. Yeah.
They never stop growing and they eat everything. And they almost weigh as much as a regular bull anyways.
And the last part you have to understand about wholesaling regulation, if somebody makes a video about wholesaling regulation, ask yourself one question. This is the easiest thing to say. Same thing about learning information. If the person who is giving me information about wholesaling regulation is trying to scare me or say something that sounds scary, what is their intention for making that video? Number one, is their intention to inform? Very rare, but sometimes they do. Or is their intention to sell me something at the end of that video? Problem is, most videos I've seen on a new wholesaling laws, at the end of the video, it's always a close because that's how you sell. You sell at the end, right? That's how you close it. It's join this or do this and pay me money.
Got one seat left.
Or do this, one seat left, or hop on here, then you can start paying me fees and we can solve this problem for you. This is so easy, right? They present the problem in the beginning, they scare you, and then they say the solution is pay me money or pay my team money or my company money. And so when you understand, that's how I look at videos on YouTube now. What's the intention of someone making this video? Is it to inform me or is it to sell me something at the end? This is why I like some YouTubers and I don't like other YouTubers, right? In wholesaling, it's the worst one. They make a video and the sole intention is just to sell you on something at the end of this.
But when they sell you on a fake problem, because entrepreneurs are taught is find the problem. That's what we do in wholesaling and fix it. Like fix the seller's problem and you make it to make money and it works. Here's the problem though. Now I'm going to tell you about a scare tactic of why something possibly illegal in wholesaling. And then I got the cure sitting right back here. So like now I'm going to promote something because I need something to sell. And that's where like I completely disagree in the wholesaling community. It's like, we got to stop doing this, man, because we have problems in this industry and we're just trying to bring light to it. But like the whole scare thing, because I'm telling you guys, if you think you become a licensed realtor to protect you as a wholesaling, you have no idea the can of worms you're opening up and doing it. My whole thing is I've never been a licensed realtor. If you want to be a wholesaler, just go be a wholesaler. If you want to be a realtor, go be a realtor. But like the combo thing, that's your plan B. Like, let's just be brutally honest. If you're going in it for the realtor referrals, I guarantee you're probably not going to do the wholesaling part. There's so many people you can pair up. You can get a fee off the commission, a marketing fee. I'm not going to get the legalities of it. I'm just telling you guys, most people I see get their license, they wind up in realtor world and then they spend hours doing comps and you got away from what you initially planned on. Understand what you're doing. Getting a realtor license is not a cure to fixing any type of wholesaling legalities. It's just you're not getting the full story. So we just want you to understand that.
I can tell you this, like I said, the Constitution clause, like let's say something we don't like. We don't like novations. We don't think they're right. Nothing is illegal about novations to a point. Signing a novation, that's just replacing one contract with another. That's a contract. That's a piece of paper. That's still legal. The problem when it gets iffy is like when you sign a power of attorney, because a power of attorney legally, those contracts show that you are in a fiduciary responsibility. Mm-hmm. See, now you're lying on your contract. And see, that's when things get a little weird. So it's not the novation that's the
Plus, you're presenting a contract that you have zero intent of ever fulfilling, period. Zero. You admit it. I'm using this as leverage to get a replacement contract. And that's not a novation. That's a trick. And here's my big problem, novations, okay? Besides the power of attorney, trying to record affidavits, and title companies, they don't even want to do them anymore. They have the highest failure ratio. So let me ask you, if more than 55% of them fail, and they do, how are you going to wind all these legal documents? And remember, your name's all over them. You're going to wind up being, if you ever get dragged into court and the seller couldn't sell their house because you clouded the title, it's expensive. It's called defamation of title. And I'm telling you, if you walked away and you didn't correct it, you are 100% liable and you are going to be held for any damages the seller had if you push their house in foreclosure or anything like that. Guys, 55% failure ratio plus. And then you add the layer of bringing people that have never done a wholesale or a piece of real estate deal, and now you're going to teach novations as the trick to get around wholesaling.
Be careful.
So just pay attention, guys. This shiny object syndrome, all these little like tricks. And I'm going to show you how you never have to close on the property and do this. And we have this, and they're just teaching you methods to trick the underwriters and the banks. And it's all going to catch up to everybody eventually. I'm just telling you.
So yeah, the reason why I want everyone to know is like, we talk about regulation. When someone sees some regulation, they try to pitch you innovation. They try to trick you that wholesaling's dead now. You got to do this thing. You got to go get licensed with me. They're all just trying to make money off of you. I can tell you there's probably been more money made off of novation courses than people actually do innovations.
I guarantee
it's
that.
Almost, it's pretty much up there. So I want people to understand that. So the regulation thing, there has been zero, I can confirm this, zero wholesaling laws that have banned wholesaling. There is not one state that wholesaling is banned. Might be regulated, but it's not banned, like outright banned. The assignment of contract, you cannot get rid of it. You know why? Because you have a right to form contract.
And then with the novations things, just let you know, the affidavit part, which every guru is taught, I'm telling you, going forward, you guys are really going to struggle to record anything against properties because everything's going to now be filtered and reviewed. And you're going to have sole permission from like 3 other parties to record something. It's happening in our local counties.
Yeah, but they just want the contract. It gets interesting.
It's just really messy. So just understand what you're getting in it.
Affidavits are legal. You just have to make sure they're okay with it.
Correct. But like, that's the challenge, that they're all being challenged and questioned, because a fast track affidavit record like a day or 2 before closing is, you got to go, okay, what's your intent? Why are you waiting so late to record something?
We can debate this all day, but I can tell you is the regulation thing, it's all hype. There's not one law that's banned wholesaling, and it will not. And the people that say wholesaling is dead, just think about it. When someone says wholesaling is dead, this is my favorite one. Every single time I've heard the word wholesaling is dead, 2 minutes later, someone's trying to sell me something. Every single time.
I was told in 2003 wholesaling was dying.
It's all to sell you
just to show you how the history, would you say history rhymes?
History doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes.
There you go. So 2003 and 4, I was like, you can't assign. It's going to be illegal. I guarantee you.
2012, wholesaling's too saturated. We hear it all the time.
It's every year you can hear it, man.
Don't worry about this. Keep going. Charge up like a bull, and you'll be fine.